Hello, this is Brian again. I had a little bit of a small nosebleed on the way up here. But I made it finally here. This is Mount Islip, 8,250 feet. There's Troop Peak. Over here's Mount Lewis. Here's Mount Hawkins. South Mount Hawkins. So, I don't know. The last stretch up here really drained me. I don't know. Today I'm just out of it. If you come up here in the next couple weeks, there's some very deep snow. See the top of the snow is almost to the top of the summit shelter, the old summit shelter. It's a little precarious, so just watch your footing. I slipped and fell. Nothing severe, but it's something to watch out for. This is it, Mount Islip. I think there used to be an ammo box up here that held the summit register, but it's all in there. Kind of messy. Kind of sad, actually. There's no survey marker up here, but you get to see the Antelope Valley and Mojave Desert. Way you're supposed to. Clear day. I can fall before this place is snowed in. Quite easily. Not today. No Sierras. You see Mount San Antonio poking up over there behind Hawkins Ridge. I don't know, I feel drained today. I mean, just a long slog from Crystal Lake. In fact, I'm trying to see. Find where it is here. Oh, the Windy Gap Trailhead is down there. You see the paved parking area by Crystal Lake Campground, which is maybe about a quarter mile or so past the Crystal Lake Cafe. That's where I usually come up to this area. Now, there's Crystal Lake. That's where I was this morning. That's where I saw all those toads. Even after I stopped filming. Of course, it was after I stopped filming and had no battery power and didn't have quite the time to change my batteries at the time. So I even saw a turtle in there. I'm not sure if it was a red eared slider or, which is not, or because it didn't get quite close enough to it. It's cool, I even saw a turtle in the water. So that area looks like a herpetologist's dream. Not to mention the scores of lizards. I was hoping to see a two-striped garter snake. I was hoping to see one of those, but not so today. This is my third time here on Mount Islip. It's usually more, well, you hike up from Islip Saddle. You hike up from Islip Saddle and Angeles Crest Highway, which, let me see, maybe I can see it from here. It's across from, downslope from Mount Williamson, I think. That ridge line over there is kind of blocking it. So I don't think you'll get a view of Islip Saddle. But Islip Saddle's down there. It would be, actually, except for the first part, which is really steep when you cross the highway, going southbound on the PCT, Pacific Crest Trail, it's a bit steep for that first quarter, half mile. You switch back from the parking area. It's right across from the parking area, right next to the gated part of Highway 39. Coming up that, it starts off really steep. Then it kind of mellows out after about maybe a quarter to half a mile, and it's just your typical moderate grade along the Pacific Crest Trail. You pass by Little Jimmy campground there. I've come up that way. That was the second time I did Mount Islip. Actually, my goal that day was to go all the way from Islip Saddle all the way to Baden-Powell. It didn't happen that day. I barely made it to Mount Hawkins, right over there. Barely made it to Mount Hawkins, which is 8,850 feet. Barely made it there. I was so out of it that day. But, well, here I am. This is the summit of Mount Islip. Like I said, you come up Islip Ridge, you'll see a junction for Big Cienega Trail. Big Cienega or just Cienega? Oh, that's what Cienega. Previous clip. And as you're coming up from that way, after about 8/10 of a mile, you're going to basically come along this way. And you're going to kind of go around the ridge there. Then you're going to go on the other side of this here. Then you're going to meet a sign that says Mount Islip 0.1 miles. That's where you're going to make that turn to go left. And then it kind of goes around that way. Kind of weird. And it goes that way. Then it curves, goes around the old shelter, and then it comes out up here. But there's quite a bit of snow over here, so just watch your footing if you come up here in a relatively recent manner, because it's quite precarious. I slipped on the snow. If you're Carol, I mean, you're not going to really need an ice axe and crampons and all that other fancy schmancy stuff, but you're definitely going to want good sturdy footwear. Maybe some micro spikes for the last stretch, but I didn't use any. I just fell hands first into the snow, and that's all it was. Nothing major. That was about it. It's actually quite warm up here. Quite warm. The sun's now free of the high clouds. We're starting to get a lot of high clouds, or mid-level clouds. These are more like mid-level alto cumulus clouds. So I was able to get away from this hot sun for a while, but now the sun's out in full effect and it's getting quite warm again. But it's full up here. I was up here for about five minutes when another group of hikers was here playing their music, and nothing bad or nothing loud. They were just having some fun, maybe in their 20s. I mean, it didn't bother me a bit. I wanted to start shooting film, but I just waited till they left, and I got the mountaintop to myself for now, until the next hikers come up whenever they do. But this is it. Mount Islip, 8,250 is the elevation. And look at Pleasant View Ridge. Oh yeah. Go right there to Mount Williamson. That's over towards Will Thrall and Pallet Benchmark. Over there is Pallet Mountain. Now, people get those confused, I think, sometimes. Pallet Benchmark and Pallet Mountain are actually two separate mountain peaks. Pallet Benchmark is the high point of that right there. It's called Pleasant View Ridge. Even though the high point of Pleasant View Ridge is two summits to the northwest of Mount Williamson, which is Peak 8248. And surprisingly, the Sierra Club register for Mount Williamson is not at Peak 8248 because that's the highest point of the Mount Williamson area. It's actually, it's not on Mount Williamson proper, which is the 8,214-foot summit over here. It's actually on the peak in between 8214, Mount Williamson, and then 8248. It's on 8244, Peak 8244. That's where the Sierra Club HPS register is. So go figure. Sometimes the Sierra Club confuses me, where they put their summit registers. Now if we pan out this way, you can see that sharp peak right there, that Strawberry Peak. Highest peak in the Front Range, 6,164 feet. And we got Twin Peaks East, 7,761. And there's Waterman Mountain, 8,038. But I do think there's actually a slightly higher point closer to the top of the ski area, which might be just a few feet higher than the benchmark, which actually says Twin. The benchmark on the HPS part of Waterman actually says Twin. So it's called Twin Benchmark. Then, closer at hand, here we have Winston Peak at 7,502 feet. Then we got Winston Ridge, which just barely crests at 7,003 feet. And that one in between it in the background, that's Pacifico Mountain over there at 7,124 feet. And then we got that long hogback of Mount Gleason, which is way off over there. I believe the elevation is 6,540. Some say it's 6,502, some say it's 6,520. So, believe what you will. Mount Gleason is above 6,500 feet. Either barely or by a fair amount. And again, there's Mount Lewis. There's Dawson Saddle. Troop Peak is behind there. Actually, over here. That's 9,138 feet. That's the second highest peak along the ridge to Baden-Powell. This area, if you go by John W. Robinson's Trails of the Angeles, this is the westernmost high point, Mount Islip, westernmost high point of the Middle High Country, which basically extends from Mount Islip's ridge all the way to Mount Baden-Powell. They call it the Middle High. He calls it the Middle High Country. So this is where the peaks actually get progressively higher as you make your way over towards Troop at 9,138 feet, and then they dip down to, then it dips down, then it goes to Mount Burnham at 8,997 feet, just almost 9,000 feet, and then it goes back up again towards Peak 9086, which is the peak right next to Mount Baden-Powell at 9,399 feet. So yeah, this is one of those famous San Gabriel peaks where, well, of course, visibility granting, you can see the ocean, you can see the Pacific Ocean, Catalina Island, and then you can see out towards the Sierra Nevada and the Mojave Desert. So this is one of those peaks with really insane views. I very highly recommend climbing Mount Islip at some point. It's not the hardest peak in the San Gabriels to climb. Not quite the easiest, but it's far from the hardest. If you come up from the Windy Gap Way, Crystal Lake, it's a challenging hike, but it's not overly bad. Come from that way, Islip Ridge, yeah, a little harder. Coming up from Islip Saddle is a lot easier. But this is it. I'm going to hang out here for a few minutes, and then in the next part I will explain my